Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday, first Monday of November, November 4th. Glad you joined us today. Hey, we got a lot of things happening. Earnings are a little sketchy yet this morning. Have a lot of stuff coming out after the market closes today. But we got some issues happening with McDonald's and with Under Armour that Dave and I will talk about in just a few moments. So, hey, as this market hits all-time highs, please remember that if you are 5 years out from retirement or you are already retired and you didn't shift gears, folks, you need to call me right now to schedule your no obligation financial x-ray review of your current portfolio. Call us at 382-0037. Dave will be with us here in just a moment.
Chain Smokers and Coldplay there. Hi, I'm Morning Dave. We're at 8:38 here, 22 before 9. Check in and see what's happening money-wise up on Wall Street this morning. Downtown Sebring we go to the offices of Statler Financial Services, where Phillip Statler is standing by, setting the table for the morning. Phillip, we got record closes on Friday for both the NASDAQ and the Standard & Poor's, and the Dow is kind of like a 9-iron away from being at a record as well. Whatever happened to that recession, right?
Well, that's true. And it's kind of funny you mentioned that because I had a couple of discussions last week with clients on Thursday and Friday. And it was like, okay, what are you thinking? I'm thinking, well, you know what? You and I both know this. The economy's got to be good. Things have got to be good if Trump wants to get reelected. And so we're going to see every push this next few months to get everything going the right direction, including the stock market, because Trump wants to get reelected. And so that's got to happen. And so that's what I think we're seeing right now.
Absolutely. It's an old point of wisdom that no matter how independent a Federal Reserve chairman is, he never wants to get tagged with the guy that killed the presidency. So even if Paulson and Trump are not on particularly good terms, which might be the mildest way to put it at the moment, Paulson's not going to allow anything to happen on the Federal Reserve side that's going to mess with that. And at the same time, every bit of control that we've got on fiscal policy is pretty much full bore as well. We're doing our level best to keep the economy going, which, given the fact that you and I have been saying for a long time that we're overdue for at minimum a leveling off, it might end up working to be good economics anyway.
Well, it's looking that way. I mean, I've said before that Trump wants to get elected. This China deal's got to come to fruition. They've got to finalize it. I believe it needs to be finalized before the end of the year. I'm not sure if that will happen, but in no regard, it's got to get done if he wants to get reelected. Now, so what does that mean? Well, it means that between now and November of next year, we may see some smooth sailing. Well, smooth sailing. It still will be somewhat volatile, but I think we'll see upward markets and good things coming out. After the election next year, Katie barred the door. Who knows what's going to happen?
You're putting it in about the bluntest terms possible. Yeah, they're going to keep all the levers pulled at the very least until November of next year, and if that gets us through an artificially induced high through that cycle, well, net, it could end up being decent economy, but decent economics. But at the same time, your point's always been well taken, and I agree that you can't avoid a recession. The question is whether or not you can manage a soft landing, and that's obviously what we're hoping for.
Well, and how long can you kick it down? How long can you kick that can down the road before it hits you?
And that's the point as well. The morning's financial news reads like an episode of the National Enquirer this morning. Our lead story is the CEO of McDonald's caught fishing off the company dock, and that got him in trouble, and he's out, and McDonald's stock is not in particularly good shape because of it, right?
Well, that's true. He got caught fraternizing with an employee, having a relationship with an employee, which is absolutely taboo within the policy statements of McDonald's, and so they fired him abruptly, and the stock's not really liking that. It's down about 1.8% this morning.
And it's not. They're replacing him, I think, with a chief operating officer, so it's not like the entire brass gets changed. But still, no investor likes to see the guy at the top of the company get thrown out the door that fast and that abruptly. So consequently, Mickey D's is probably going to be paying for that for a few days.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the president from one of the subsidiaries is going to take over as president. But Dave, on another hand, and we didn't talk about this yet, but Under Armour came in with a report. They reported their earnings, and it was news, right? They came in 5 cents ahead of what was estimated to come in, and so that was good. Revenue beat the forecast. However, they've had to cut their full year guidance, revenue outlook. The other thing that's weighing heavy on Under Armour this morning is that it's been said that they've been under some SEC investigation for their accounting procedures. And so they're getting dragged through the mud on that issue. And so it doesn't matter really what earnings are doing. They're getting hit pretty hard this morning. They're down a little over 14% this morning.
I was going to say Under Armour has two different classes of stock out there, and they're number 1 and number 2 on my big loser list this morning. The federal government raises one eyebrow at you, and that'll scare the pants out of investors, won't it?
Yeah, it does. And so unfortunate because they've managed to kind of battle back after a couple bad years. And so you hate to see that happen to one of Nike's big competitors.
And for the sake of just being able to see good news for shareholders, one would hope they could at the very least get this thing cleaned up out in the sunshine and over in a hurry, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you do. So they can move forward.
Absolutely. Another curiosity that came up this morning that both you and I were scratching our heads over, Sprint reported their quarterly earnings either early this morning or over the weekend, and they missed on just about everything. Earnings per share, net subscriber losses, just about everything they were looking at makes Sprint suddenly look like BlackBerry all of a sudden, but all of a sudden their stock started going up, and we can't really figure out why, which kind of says things are counterintuitive at times, aren't they?
Yeah, I can't find anything in any of the reports that I'm seeing. They missed on earnings per share by 5 cents. They were supposed to lose 2 cents a share. They lost 7. They missed on revenue substantially. They were way down from what they were last year, and they missed on the consensus estimates there. But yet they're trading up 0.8% this morning. It's one of those things you beat your head against the wall. Why? I don't know. I can't see it in the reports anywhere.
Somewhere in that report, somebody saw something they didn't like, and they're trading it down considerably. It's a usual Monday in the middle of earnings season, and we don't have a whole lot of reports to do. I did notice a whole bunch of re-upgrade figures out of the analyst houses. The financials from their season of earnings reports about a week or so ago, now reaping the benefits of that. All those names that we talked about a week or so ago, now getting rated upward by the analyst houses with target stock prices that are better than they were. So I'll count that as good news for trading this week.
Yeah, but we're getting some of the flip side too, Dave. We're getting some downgrades and underweights coming out too. You got Harley Davidson is getting reanalyzed. There's a couple other ones. Don't hit this page I'm on right now, but so we're seeing both sides. We're seeing some upgrades and some downgrades after some of the earnings have come out. I had Berkshire Hathaway come out, reported their earnings today, and they beat consensus estimates by about 20 cents a share. Revenue came in above what was forecasted. They've continue to stockpile cash, which is not making some of the stockholders happy. There was a little bit of an increase earlier. Now it's basically unchanged. If you buy their A share, it's only $323,400 a share.
Oh, hey, let's pool our pocket change and buy a couple of shares, Phillip.
You and some of your friends. There you go.
Yeah, we'll chip in and buy 100 shares. What the heck? We're rich. There's a B share in Berkshire Hathaway that makes it a little bit more affordable, but nevertheless, I know that Warren Buffett's been getting a lot of crud for all of his cash stockpiling, but it's hard to argue with the conservative investment strategy that Buffett's been talking about for years, so it's probably not necessarily a lesson that we should take lightly, is it?
No, it really shouldn't. I mean, he's done a really good job managing Berkshire Hathaway all these years. And it just means he doesn't see anything out there that's worth buying. And the other side of that is he doesn't pay a dividend. And so I think that's probably what's got stockholders really probably more upset than anything. If you're not going to buy something, then let's pay some dividend, a special dividend. Let's do something with that cash that's just sitting there.
Yeah, they really haven't had any big news item that's come out of Berkshire Hathaway now, and seems like a couple of years they haven't done anything really exciting, but they're still a good, solid investment, and folks hang on to them and then carp and moan about Buffett not doing anything exciting, right?
Exactly. Hey, on another front, I want to thank you for helping Ferrari, increase their top and bottom line too. I know you went out and bought a couple of them, right?
Oh yeah. Right after I bought my Berkshire Hathaway stock.
So they did well. I don't have the exact numbers. They did well both on top and bottom numbers. They increased their full year outlook. Their vehicle shipment rose 9% the last quarter, and they're trading up, looking good, up 6% this morning.
All right. Any other indications that we should be watching for this week? We're trading on a lot of trade optimism right now after word out of the administration that phase one of our deal with China is imminent. Anything else this week that's likely to affect us?
I don't know big time wise. I will say on Friday, construction came out and beat by a little bit. Sometime today, we've got vehicle sales that will come out. I think that to me is an important number because as we look at vehicle sales, that kind of gives you an idea of what the consumer thinks in terms of buying something that's pretty high priced item and paying for it over time. Outside of that, I'm just drilling down real quick to see. That's really about it this week. Nothing really to write home about.
One of those weeks we'll actually trade stocks based on the value of the stock instead of gossip for a change. Kind of a nice thought, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I'm sure we'll have more earnings coming out, but nothing much in the way of economic news.
Understood. Resetting the table for the morning, as mentioned, it was optimism over trade primarily that drove us up on Friday and drove us up nicely. A new record on NASDAQ up 94 points, a new closing record on the Standard & Poor's up a little over 29, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 301 points, and that gets us inside of a sand wedge of being at another record there as well. 45 minutes before we open, Phillip, what do the futures look like today?
It looks like we're just going to keep springboarding off of Friday's trade information. We've got the Dow up 0.6%, $165. S&P 500 is up 0.6%, almost $19. NASDAQ's up 0.75%, almost $63. So some good numbers coming out there. We'll have to watch to see if everything kind of follows through on that boat. Interesting though, we've got gold and silver both trading up also. Silver's up almost 1% to $18.22 an ounce, and we've got gold up a little over 0.1% to $1,513 an ounce. And then we got crude oil trading up 1% this morning to almost $57 a barrel.
That's got to be expectations of economic health that's doing that, wouldn't you suspect?
I'm thinking so. I would think that based on what we're seeing in the stock market, you would see the gold and silver would be going the opposite directions.
Yeah, normally conventional wisdom would say that. World markets, Asia ended up mixed, and Japan closed off by a little bit this morning, but it was party time in Hong Kong. That market was up by 1.5% at the close early on. Europe's following suit. Both the major indexes in Europe, in Great Britain and Germany, both up by well over a full percentage point midway through their trading day. Phillip, advice is always needed, good times and bad for that matter, to make sure that a retirement for me and for my family can look as good as I hope it will. How do I find you on the phone?
Absolutely, Dave. They can give us a call at 382-0037 to schedule their financial x-ray review. Given where we are in the market and what's going to be happening here with the presidential elections, now's the time to get your financial x-ray. Please give us a call at 382-0037 and then catch us every weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturdays, 10 a.m. Sunday mornings on your sister station, News Talk 730 a.m.
And back again tomorrow morning with a look at what happened today and a look ahead for tomorrow as well here on Light FM. Phillip, thank you so much. We'll catch you then, all right?
All right, buddy. Have a great day.
Thank you. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, don't forget, give us a call, 863-382-0037 to schedule your no-obligation financial x-ray review of your portfolio to make sure you don't have too much risk heading into this presidential election. 863-382-0037. Thanks for joining us today. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow.